Hello student. Now today's video lecture here we discuss the features of SCTP protocol, SCTP introductions as well as their services we already discussed in the previous video lecture. Okay. So now here we discuss the stream control transmission protocol features. Okay. So first one is the transmission sequence number is nothing but the TSN. So the unit of data in SCTP is a data chunk. Whenever if we talk about the particular TCP protocol, okay, so data unit of the TCP is a segment. Here we send the data in the form of segment from sender to receiver. If you're talking about the IP protocols in the network layer, the data unit is nothing but a packet. Okay, in the particular data link layer, the data unit is frame. So different layer they have different types of data units. Okay, so here the data unit of the particular SCTP protocol is nothing but the data chunk or chunk. Chunk is nothing but the set of blocks, or it is the large piece of something, we can say that. Okay, so here data transfer in a SCTP is controlled by numbering the data chunk, just like that. In TCP protocol, here we also the whatever segments are sent, each segment allocated the sequence number, due to which according to the sequence number receiver can easily identify the particular segment and reorder that particular or assemble that segment in the proper order. Here also, here we use the particular sequencing number, that is a transmission sequencing number. Whatever data chunk, whatever data here we send, so that we allocated the sequence number. Okay, so here we can say that here we use a numbering for that particular the data chunk first of all, and data chunk also is used to control the particular protocol. But it means data transfer in the TCP is controlled by numbering the data chunk. Okay? So in TCP protocol, to allocate it a number, okay, as well as controlling the particular data chunk, it plays very important role. So okay, so just like a TCP here also allocate the sequence number to the each and every chunk. In TCP we allocate the sequence number to the particular segment, each and every segment. So here we allocated the sequence number to each and every data chunk. Data chunk is nothing but the data that present on the particular the block. So in TCP, TSN is used to assign a number to different data chunks. So different blocks are sent from sender to receiver. Each and every data chunk, here we allocated the TSN number, that is the transmission sequence number. Okay, so and this data sequence, okay, is controlled by the SCTP protocol. Okay, allocating the number as well as controlling the particular data chunk in the proper order, it can be performed by the SCTP protocol. So here also we use the first feature is the TSN, that is a transmission sequence number. Each and every data chunk we allocated a sequence number, due to which receiver can easily understand, okay, according to the sequence number. Then second one is the stream identifier. So stream identifier is nothing but the SI. So SI, that is stream identifier, is a 16-bit number and start with 0. Okay, starting from 0. There are several streams in each association. Association is nothing but the connection. Connection in SCTP is called as the association. So it need to identify them. Okay, so each data chunk needs to carry the SI in the header so that properly placed in the stream of arrival. So whatever data chunk is travel. In earlier video lecture, here we show the diagram about the stream of data. Okay, how to data chunk is travel between the stream. So here we use the number of stream to transfer the data, and each stream allocating the identifier. Okay, so this is a 16-bit field and there are several streams in each connection. Har ek connection mein there are number of streams are present and it need to identify them. So how to identify? So for identify the stream, we allocated the stream identifier number. Okay, according to that number, here we also identify the each and every stream. Okay, because each and every stream there, here we send the data. Okay, if in last video lecture we already say about the if anyone's stream is the fault is occur or the failures is done, then we have the alternative option, that alternative streams are available, due to which we can transfer the data. Okay, then the next one is the particular the packets. Okay, so packet in SCTP, the data is carried out in the form of data chunk. Okay, obviously data in TCP data are present in the segment. Here data is present in the data chunk, and control information is carried on the control chunk. It means that in the HTTP protocol, here we use the two chunk. One is the data chunk that contain the data, actual data, user data, and another here we use the control chunk that control the control information about that particular header, about that particular chunk. ठीक है. So both the data chunk as well as the control chunk are placed together in the packet. Both are placed in the packet because one data chunk contains actual data, but the control chunk contains the control information, how to control that particular packet, how to maintain the sequence on that particular packet. So all that control information present in the control chunk, so both are packed in the one single packet. Okay, so when we transfer the chunk, when we send the packet, in that packet there are always two chunks are present, nothing but the data chunk and the control chunk. Okay, then next one is the multi-homing. So multi-homing allow both ends to define the multiple address for communication. In here multi-homing also discussed in the particular the services of the HTTP. Multi-homing, it means that multi-homing allow the both ends to define multiple IP address. It means not only use the one single IP address, here we use the multiple IP address also for the communication. Okay, but only one of these can be defined as a primary address, and remaining can be used as alternative address. Okay, it means that in normal communication, here we use a single IP address, that is sender use one IP address and receiver use another IP address. But if any fault is occur, if any problems is occur, okay, at that time here we need the here we available the particular alternative option. It means that here we use the multiple IP address. If suppose client and server, they are communicate with each other. Okay, the client has two networks. Okay, local area network. In first area network they use the IP1, then second area network IP2. Similarly, client server side also, here we use the two IP address, IP3 and IP4. Suppose in normal communication, here we client communicate with the server via IP1 to IP3 for example, but there is a problem on that network. Okay, some fault is occur, some failure is occur, then what, then it not need to wait particular that situation. So here he select the alternative option. It means the alternative network that contains another IP address. Okay, so in TCP here we use only single IP address. Okay, sender use one IP address and receiver use one IP address for the communication. But in the HTTP protocol, multi-homing, it allow both ends, that is more than one IP address for the communication. But primary starting with the only single IP address, sender use one IP address and receiver use the another IP address. Okay, but if that particular network, particular local area, if some fault is occur, some failures is occur, error is occur, at that situation here we use the alternative option, nothing but the secondary IP addresses. Okay, so multi-homing allow both ends to define the multiple IP addresses for communication. More than one IP address can be used, means sender use more than one IP address, two IP address, and receiver also use the two IP address for the communication. Okay, then but only one of these can be defined as a primary address, and the remaining can be used for the alternative address for if any fault is occur, tolerant is occur. So at that time the sender as well as receiver use the alternative IP address for the communication, not in the waiting stage, not in the delay stage. Now next one is the flow control. Just like a TCP, here also we use the flow control. So here also we to avoid overlapping the receiver. It means that according to the capacity of the receiver, here always receiver advertise their receiving capacity, windowing capacity. So according to that capacity, here we maintain the flow of data, flow of informations. Okay, so just like TCP, here we also flow control mechanisms are used. Okay, to control the flow of data according to the capacity of the receiver side. Okay, not overhead the particular data, not continuously send the data to the receiver. Okay, when the receiver advertise their window, if it is advertised as zero window, it means that their buffer is complete full, here we not need to transfer the data. Okay, but when the receiver said now 1 bit space is remaining on my window size, on my buffer, then sender can send the data. Okay, so every time here also send the acknowledgement, just like a TCP is a reliable protocol. It means that there is a acknowledgement facility. So HTTP also is a connection oriented reliable protocol. Here also the acknowledgement facility, when the acknowledgement is come, at that time sender also send a particular data as per the requirement, as per their window size advertisement. Then next one is the error control. So just like TCP, here also the error control mechanisms are provided because it is a reliable protocol. Okay, if any error is occur, packet is lost, duplicated or discarded, so here also use a retransmission facility for the particular data chunk. Okay, Then next one is the congestion control. Here also, just like TCP, SCTP implement the congestion control, determine the how many chunks can be injected into the network. And here packet is nothing but the chunk, segment is nothing but the chunk. So how many chunk are affected or congested on the traffic, how many chunk are lost under due to the network load is increases on the particular due to which the data chunk. Okay, if the load is greater than their capacity of the network, then the congestion is occur. Similarly, if the number of data chunks are you saying as and it is greater than the capacity of the network, okay, then also the congestion is occurs. Okay, so which chunk is injected, which chunk is discard or lost, so only particular this chunk also retransmission facility is available. So just like TCP, here also the flow control, error control, congestion control facility are provided, because SCTP it is the combinations of good features of TCP and UDP. So that's why here also provide the congestion control, error control and flow control mechanism. Okay, now next one is the packet format of the SCTP. So just like a TCP header format, packet format, UDP packet format, here also SCTP has a packet format. So SCTP packet has a mandatory general header and set of blocks are called chunks. So it means here also the general header that contains just like a TCP source port address, destination port address, then checksum. These are the mandatory fields are also present in the general header just like TCP and UDP. But here also, here we use another a mandatory field is nothing but the blocks is nothing blocks is called as a chunk. Okay, so in features we discuss about the two types of chunk. Okay, that is the control chunk and the data chunk. So control chunk control chunk controls and maintain the association, whatever connections you are established between the sender and receiver, client and receiver, so that information how to properly maintain the connection, that all informations are present in the control chunk. For controlling and maintaining the connection, association is nothing but the connections. Okay, what are the important things are required for control and maintain the connections, all that informations are present in the control chunk. And data chunk is contain the user data, actual information that we are transferred between the sender receiver, that all informations are present in the data chunk. Okay, in packet the control chunk come before the data chunks. Okay, so control chunk it is a controlling, because it all the important information about the connection, about associations are present in the control chunk. So that's why control chunks come before the data chunk, and remaining are the, we can say that the data chunk. Okay, now so here we say that the general header on the each packet. So this general header is nothing but the that contains the source port address, destination port address, and the verification tags and checksum. This is the general header, and after that they involve the chunks. Okay, because in your packet there are two field, one is a general header and next one is the chunk. So this is the general header. Okay, so general header is the packet header. Okay, packet header of SCTP defined endpoints of associations on which the packet belongs, to which the packet belongs, guarantee that packet belong to particular association, and preserve the integrity of the contents of the packet including the header itself. Okay, so general header, just like a IP TCP header is nothing but the envelope. So envelope it maintains the address for the sender and receiver, so due to which the packet can be we can say that surely transferred to the receiver. Okay, because there is maintain the informations about the where to transfer and who transfer that. Okay, so here also that for endpoint communication between the sender and receiver, here also the guarantee that packet can be belongs to the particular association, particular connections related to the receiver. Okay, and preserve the integrity of the contents of the packet including the header, and it maintain the integrity, okay, identity of the particular packet. Okay, this is the correct packet and this is not a fraud packet, and this is original packet. Okay, that's here we I want to transfer, that packet is belong to the receiver. Okay, it maintain the integrity just like authentication security purpose. Okay, this is the correct packet, not a fraud packet. Okay, so this also the surety here. Okay, then the format of the general header is shown that source port address, destination port address, both are the 16 bits. Then verification tag is the 32 bits and the checksum is the 32 bits. So just like TCP and UDP, source port address, this is the 16 bit field, and define the port number. Okay, due to which the process sending the packet, due to which the application program sending the packet. Okay, those applications send the packet whose port number are defined in the source port address, and those applications receive the particular packet whose number whose application number identification name is defined by the destination port address. Then next one is the verification tag. So verification tag is that we can say that key it is used to verify the packet comes from the correct sender. Okay, no, not from the duplicate or not from the another hackers or crackers. The packet is come from the correct sender, so that's why here we use the verification tag. Verify that it is the correct sender or not, or some misuse or some is duplicate sender. Okay, so for the correct sender can be identified by using the verification tag. So here you can see that okay, so this is a number that match the packet to an association. Okay, this prevents the packet from the previous association being from being mistaken a packet in the association. Suppose if a packet is sent, okay, and there is some mistake in some error is occur, okay, on the particular connections, okay, that not match the checksum value, we can say that, or some error is occur, so it's serve as identifier for the associations. Okay, so here we identify the association. It means the connections, it can identify the packet is come from the correct sender or not. So this can be identified by the verification. Verify that, okay, the packet, whatever packets are come, whenever or whatever how many packets are come, here also the verification tag always verify the packet come from the correct sender or not. Okay, so because that packet maintain the header format and packet maintain the each and every informations related to that sender and receiver, who is the sender and who is the receiver. So here we verify that the correct sender or not, the packet can be sent by that. It is repeated in every packet during the association. There is a separate verification used for each direction in the association. Okay, so not only for the sender side, receiver side also use the verification tag to verify that is it the packet is the come from the correct sender, from the correct receiver. So that's why here we use the particular the verification tag. It always set the some value as the value received by the destinations. Okay, or another pair. So here initialize the tag during association is, if we use the initialization tag during the association, so here we set some value. Okay, so according to that value, here we find out or verify that this is the correct packet come from the correct sender or correct receiver. Okay, as an HTTP packet containing an INTI chunk must have the verification tag set to 0. Okay, here we set the value for that also. Okay, so if we use the init chunk, so that the verification tag value is 0. If we use the particular the error chunk, so that value is the 9. Okay, so that's a different value set for the verification tag also. And then checksum, just like TCP, here we also use the checksum. It is a 32-bit and contain the CRC 32-bit checksum, that is a check redundancy cycle. Okay, note that the size of the checksum is increased from 16 to 32 bits. Okay, you remember that the TCP checksum is a 16 bit. Okay, UDP checksum also the 16 bit. Okay, as well as IP checksum also the 16, but here the checksum field is the 32 bit. It means it provide the more securely transferred as well as error free data is transfer. Okay, checksum, why we use the checksum? For error control, correction and detection. So if you correct the error, detect the error, so it easily transfer data, or with guarantee what the data sent by the actual exact data transmitted to the receiver also. So here we use the allow the use of CRC checksum, that is Adler algorithm, we can say that, or check redundancy cycle. These concepts are used for the checksum calculations, just like checksum calculation process here we already discussed in the TCP and UDP. Okay, then next one is the chunk means what? It is the collections of blocks, large blocks of some things, we can say that the chunk. Okay, now so the control informations or user data carried out in the chunk. Of course, control the connections, how to control the connections, how to maintain the connection, that informations are present in the control chunk, and actual user data are present in the data. So in this way there are two types of chunks are used in your packet. Okay, so chunks have a common layout shown in the particular figure. So the first three fields are common to all chunks. Okay, while either you use the, because here we use a variable length chunk na, so either you use the chunk control chunk or data chunk. So first three field are common. That is the information field depends on the type of chunk. Okay, informations, it depends on type of chunk. Okay, then the important point to remember that HTTP requires the information section to be multiple of 4 bytes if not if not padding bytes are added to the end of the section. A padding byte, it means that if your frame is suppose ethernet frame is 1500 bytes and your data is only the only 100 only 1000 bytes. Okay, so to maintain the balance, here we use the padding bits. For some extra bits are added. Okay, now, so here the chunk type is it is identify the type of information are present in the particular chunk data. Okay, it identifies the types of information present in the particular the chunk data. So this is a 1 byte long. This is the type chunk is the 1 byte, and this 8 bit can be defined up to the 250 types of chunks. Okay, 1 byte, it is nothing but the 8 bits. So this is the 8 bit field. Okay, that define the 250 types of chunks. Okay, so types, which types of chunk are used for processing. Okay, so here there are the in table that maintain the different, that is total 256 types of chunks are present. Okay, only few have been defined. So here, just like a type 0, if we use the chunk type 0, it means that this is the data, it contain the user data. If the type 1, here you mention the type 1, so user receiver understand that this is the user data. If we use the init chunk, okay, if the chunk init and the type is 1, it means that set up the connection, it used for the connection establishment. For that we use the type 1 chunk. If we use the type 2 chunk, that is int ack, so acknowledge the int chunk, it means that connection is establishes properly, such type of acknowledgement. For that here we use the init ack, this is the chunk. Okay, so these are the just like a TCP. Here also the types. Okay, just like in TCP, there are different types of protocol. In each protocol there we allocated a port number. Okay, so here also the different types of chunk and their types. So identify for which purpose that chunk is used. Okay, it identifies the number of identifies the informations are present in the chunk. Okay, which type of informations are present? For connection establishment, for error control, for the acknowledgement, for the shutdown, which type of informations are present? So for that here we use the type of chunk. Okay, which type of chunk? This chunk, suppose we set the value 0, it means this is the chunk, this is a data chunk, and this contain the user information. If the value is 1 chunk is present, it means it is the init chunk, and that can be used for the setup the association. So different types of chunk can be identified according to their values, according to their type. Okay, so receiver or network identify that, so this can be chunk is used for that particular this purpose. So just like the SAC is used for the select to acknowledgement, and the type is 3. So different types. If you want to abort the connections, abort any association, that is connection abort, at the time we set the value, here we set the chunks type 6. Okay, so it means that receiver understand it is receiver understand that the client is now about the connections, about the association. Okay, if we send the chunk type particular 9, it means that error, for because chunk type 9, it means error, the reports error without shutting down. Okay, so error is occur. So different types of chunks are present here. Okay, and according to that we identify what purpose that chunk is used here. Then next one is the chunk flag. So this is the 8-bit flag whose defines the varies with the chunk type. Okay, this also depends on the type. Okay, so flag active. Okay, here we flags active. If we show the particular we say the error. Okay, so here we chunk flag value 9 is active. Okay, it means that error is occur. Okay, if you want to send data, to then we chunk flag value 1 is active. So this is the 8-bit bit flags whose define the various types of chunk type. It depends on the type. Okay, so default value of the 0, if the default value set 0, this indicate that no application identifier is specified by the upper layer on the data. Okay, it means that data is successfully present, that contain only data. Okay, error free data. So chunk flag, it depends on the chunk type. Okay, what types according to that flag is active, and by default value is 0. Then next one is the chunk length. It show the particular the okay, so length define the total size of the chunk. Okay, so here we define the total size of the chunk. So this is 2 bytes long. if the chunk does not form multiple 4 bytes, that is the length is not a multiple of the 4, it implicitly padded with 0, which are not included in the chunk length. Like if we not use the multiple of 4 bytes, okay, it is not used in the multiple of 4 bytes data, so at that time here we set the 0 value. It means no need for the padding, extra data, optional data not included if it is not use the multiple of 4 bytes data, if we not show the multiple of the 4 bytes. Okay, if the chunk does not form a multiple of 4 bytes, so it is implicitly padded with 0, which is not included, not need for the padding. Okay, then next one is the chunk value. So chunk value is the general purpose data field, it contains only the data. Okay, it show the chunk value show the generally data, so it is general purpose data field, okay, that contain the data. So here this is about the particular the general header format of the HTTP as well as the chunk is nothing but the data. Okay, just like in TCP, here we transfer the data in the form of segment, so here we transfer the data in the form of chunk, so segment is called as a chunk in the HTTP protocol. Okay, so this is about the header format of the particular HTTP protocol. I hope you understand this video. Thank you.